My name is Kristine and I'm the Senior Biomedical Scientist in the NHS Grampian biorepository.
And I'm Nadine and I'm the Associate Practitioner.
And we're a small team who we're based on the Forest Hill campus, and our role is to facilitate the use of patient tissue in research. So this can be academic projects, commercial projects and clinical trials. So one very good example of this was during the peak of the COVID pandemic. We were processing COVID bloods for research. So patients would get consented at A&E and we would go over and collect blood samples and then process them, store them and distribute them for research. So most of the work was done in this fancy cabinet. It's a class 2 cabinet, and the blood samples would arrive in your standard blood tube form, and then we would separate them in a centrifuge and then aliport them into these little tubes with barcodes. So these all have a unique identifier, which means we can locate them in our -80 freezers and store them safely. But this code tells us what sample is in it and who it's from, where it came from, full traceability. And when we have full box, they get labelled up and then they go into our -80 freezer.
So these are our -80 freezers. So the box that we showed you in the cabinet to the house, we transfer them into storage here. So we have all these racks and drawers, and everything with its unique barcode gets a unique location so that we can identify it, and when we come to look it out for a research project, it's easily found. We also store material for national clinical trials, so some paediatric and lung trials.
Anything that comes along, we will try and find a pathway which means that we can get patient tissue into use in research projects, and we could not do it without the support of the public. So if we get permission to use a patient's sample, often it involves us going up to theatre when a specimen is ready after an operation, and we take it back to the pathology lab and take different samples from it. So sometimes it goes into the freezer like we showed you, and sometimes it goes out fresh straight away to a researcher. For the rest of the tissue, it gets processed into these paraffin blocks. So a pathologist will dissect the tissue and put it into these blocks. And from that, we can prepare a slide, which is an image of the block. And then we can look at this under the microscope, and that will tell us what's going on in the tissue. For example, cancers, this is how they get diagnosed. But our role in this pathway is often if a patient is involved in a trial, for example for a cancer, we help to find the appropriate tissue which can enter into this trial. And often this means that a patient gets access to different drugs and treatments to help their disease.